So I get told all the time, you have really pretty skin, and this is no filter. Look, no Photoshop. I have really pretty skin. It's true. So how can you get beautiful skin? You can get beautiful skin by taking care of down here, your gut system, by doing a mucoid plaque cleanse, by doing a parasite cleanse, heavy metal cleanse. You're gonna look good up here. Yes, whatever's happening in here reflects up here. So this is the gallbladder, this is the kidneys, this is the liver, and then the texture of your skin. If you have leaky gut, you're gonna have like porous skin, you're gonna have like very big pores. You know, you ever see those people and you're like, whoa, big pores, or you have them yourself? Like, oh, I have big pores. That's coming from leaky gut. So the more fats you do, the more bone broth, guess what? You're gonna have smooth skin like this. Yes, you're not gonna need any filters or anything. You're gonna have beautiful, smooth skin. So bone broth is amazing. If you do a bone broth challenge, 3 weeks, you're gonna glow. Literally, I don't have anything on my skin right now, even here, and I'm glowing. And yeah, so try a bone broth challenge. I'm not gonna lie, bone broth tastes bad. At least how I do it, but it's like inner beauty. Okay, so basically what you do is you get a crock pot. You can get one on Amazon or Target, and then you get your bones and you put your bones in there all night long on high with water. The next morning you have your bone broth and you sit that throughout the day. I leave my bones in for 3 days, leave the crock pot on, and I replace water. As much as I'm taking out bone broth, I replace with water. I sit that. And that's also gonna make you more blissful, more happy, amazing. You're gonna feel amazing, because guess what? Also, what happens in your gut system reflects in your thoughts. It reflects in how you feel. It literally reflects in your emotions. Healed gut system, happy thoughts, happiness, bliss. Yes, so healing your gut system is really, really important. So yeah, do bone broth. I recommend carnivore diet for 3 months at the least. Some people need to do it for 6-9 months. They also have to do an intense detox along with it. Generally, for people who are very unhealthy or sick, they're gonna need that. But if you're a person who's pretty healthy, you're not gonna need that. And I'm answering questions at the same time. So let's go here. If you guys have any questions, post them below. Acne. Okay, yeah, so acne causes our leaky gut and also parasites. So once you remove that and heal the gut system, remove those parasites, acne will go away. I used to have bad acne back in the day, and the acne went away when I healed my gut system. Also, you know, it's really important to sauna. Sauna is amazing for your skin. And I do a lot of hot yoga, which is amazing for you. Sauna is amazing for your skin too. Of course, your diet. You know, if you're eating a lot of sugars, carbs, junk food, it's gonna show on your face, how you feel. It's gonna reflect in how you feel. You're not gonna feel good. So cut out the junk food, cut out a lot of carbs. And believe it or not, like when your gut's not doing well, if you're eating like things like fruits, it's still gonna mess your system up. So you can go back to eating fruits and even like carbs. And I never recommend a ton of carbs after you heal your gut system. So healing your gut system takes 3 months, 6 months, 9 months sometimes for people, but it depends on your situation. And you know, I help people heal their gut systems. So I do offer 15-minute free consultations on that. But yeah, it depends your situation. Specific people need specific herbs. But yeah, focus on your gut system. If you're not feeling well emotionally, if you're not feeling well physically, if you have bad skin, you have acne, heal your gut system. That's number one. So, sore throat remedy. The best thing for that is actually going to be a colonic or a enema. I like doing enemas. So anytime, you should never get sick, by the way. If you're getting sick, it's because your system's already backed up. If you're very healthy, you won't have sore throats, you won't have colds, flus, all that goes away. So yeah, I would recommend a colonic, because usually if you are getting a sore throat, it's because your liver's backed up, your gut system's backed up, and I would definitely look into detoxing. Generally, an enema or a colonic take it away right away. But But yeah, I just wanted to give some health tips, skin tips, exactly, to be exact. And I do mostly organic makeup. But yeah, my skin, as you can see, this is no filter, poreless, basically. And glowing and happy. It's happy skin. Somebody's asking, what kind of magic can I do for myself and against my enemy? I just leave people who don't like you alone. Generally, people who don't like you, they don't have a life, and they usually live in a room, live on a couch, you know. They're not your enemies, they're their own enemies, so we just leave them alone. So basically, but when it comes to magic you can do for yourself, probably the highest magic you can do is feeling good within yourself. So once you fix your physical body's gonna feel good. You're gonna be in such a high frequency. This is why I recommend, above doing, you know, lots of cacao ceremonies and a lot of the new age stuff, just fix the physical body and you're gonna feel really, really good, look good. And because, I mean, if this isn't well, you're not gonna be well on any level. So first take care of the body, the capsule, the temple that you're in, the church, and then your frequency will go up. And that's the highest magic, is to get in a state of bliss and happiness. When your skin looks well, when you feel good internally, you're in a high frequency. And that's high magic. You're just walking around being like a beautiful magic unicorn, mermaid, charm. Good luck. That's how it works. So yeah, that's my recommendation. You know, you can light a white candle. Sometimes I light white candles. I have like these bath watches I got from the store that clear energies. I clear energies for myself. I use the 4 elements. So fire burns away anything negative, water washes it away, earth binds it, air blows it away, and then God's source comes in. And I do that to myself, my friends, my house, where I'm living, where I'm traveling. Let's say if I'm in a hotel, I do that every day and it works really well. You can do that to everyone around you, people that you love. That works well too. Yeah, don't use magic against others. There's an old saying, what you do others is, that's true. And I've had people do black magic on me. Yes. And you know what? They look awful. They live in their rooms. Life isn't good for them. My life, though, continues to prosper, get better and better and better. And they continue to be sour and unhappy. So it's just better to leave them. But yeah, so magic can't really do anything unless you believe it too. If you believe it, then it can mess with you. If you have bad karma, it can mess with you. But really, if you're just a good person living your life, it can't do anything to you. Okay. Let's see, what about the corruption with children's child services? You know, I will go to say that child services, I think, is a positive thing, because there are bad people out there. There are bad mothers. Like, even some of the people talk about haters, some of the women stalking me, instead of taking care of their children, they're actually online posting really terrible stuff. So, you know, people like that shouldn't have children. If I had a child, I'd never be online like posting about somebody I'm envious or jealous of. So I think Child Protective Services is actually a good thing. If that's what you're talking about. I wish as a child that somebody called it on my mother because she was very abusive. So I actually support Child Protective Services. But yeah, there's corruption in everything. Like, we have corruption in the New Age community, in the conspiracy. We have corruption everywhere. So you think that instead of just being like, okay, there's only corruption in this area, we need to realize there's corruption everywhere. And the best thing we can do is go to charity work, elevate our frequency, become the happiest, healthiest person that we can be. Do good things for ourselves and others. Speak up about that corruption, because yeah, it's a sickness that's in everything that needs to be cleansed and cleared out. But there should be, actually, in my opinion, and I know this sounds terrible, but in my opinion, we should have dire consequences for people who harm children. If you're a child, there's a lot of exploitation. You know, we had the whole Epstein files, all of that, all that stuff that is just so much to talk about there that I haven't talked about in a while. And this is just I was just going to jump on and talk about skin. But yeah, I think there should be dire circumstances for people who exploit children on any level. And if there were, then I think more people would treat their children better and they wouldn't exploit children. That's just how I feel. I've started a parasite detox with a tincture and charcoal to bind. What's your opinion on that method? Be very careful with parasite detoxin. It can actually backfire on you. That's happened to me. So what you want to do is you want to have a good binder. So you want to have psyllium husk and bentonite clay. And there's a previous video that I posted with the bentonite clay, and you just want to go ahead and take that binder and also do things like enemas to clear out of your system, because you don't want it to sit there and then you reabsorb it. So enemas are amazing. They really help you to detox. I wouldn't recommend taking anything to kill off parasites or dislodge metals unless you're taking a binders, and that's psyllium husk powder mixed with bentonite clay. Look at my previous video I posted. I talked about this. You create the conditions for your game. Exactly. And you can always elevate. That's what's great about the game. If we weren't here having this like awesome game, it'd be boring. Like, we just get tired of heaven, I think, or get tired of the other ropes. So yeah, this is a great experience. Earlier I was just like shopping and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so super happy, blessed. Like, I have a beautiful experience. And I've had some hard experiences which were needed, because it's like, I get to enjoy the good experience so much because I got to learn what the other side was. So yeah. Thank you, Arsenal. You said you agree with me. Yeah, when it comes to the whole children thing, I'm so for protecting children. I actually was, I was telling this person the other day, I'm like, yeah, we should have like severe laws protecting the children. And if we did, there would be a lot less adults who are completely, where they need therapy and they need healing because of what happened to them as a children. We'd have a way better society if children were protected and taken care of the way they should be. Yeah, they can be good, but this is what I'm saying. There's corruption everywhere, sadly. And that's why we are supposed to really, really shift the system. That's why I've spoken out a lot of my life. I've devoted a lot of my life to doing this. Instead of, I was recruited to model for Ford and Christian Dior, didn't do that. And I devoted a lot of my life to doing a lot of spiritual exploration, talking about past lives. But I could tell you something. I was thinking about this the other day. But people who are evil to children, they need to, or just evil in general. I was thinking about they're trying to start nuclear wars or threatening with nuclear wars or wars. They need to understand, these guys that do this, that are corrupt, they need to understand that they will be in a future in the underworld. And nobody, I think, in the New Age community talks about that. Yes, if you are an evil dictator who creates war and suffering, you are going to go to the underworld. And I know it exists because I've been there. So I think there needs to be more content that comes out from people who have been to the realms that says to these people that are corrupt, there are consequences past this lifetime for the evil that you are doing, and you're going to get it. You cannot bypass it. You're going to get what you give. Nature has consequences. Yes, God is a lot of love, but God's a lot of consequences for when you don't act right too. The divine. Yes, all we can do is work on ourselves and help where we can. This is very true. I feel like this is a biological simulation that our higher selves have created. What do you think about this? I completely agree with that. I believe that this is actually a simulation. All of us have the light of God within us, the divine within us, and I believe that this was created as a sort of playground and experience, but I feel that it's kind of gotten out of hand, and we're really on the shadow side right now of everything, and that shadow's coming up so it can be healed. That's what I believe. So, when I was asking, because the other day I ran across an article, and I'm not a new ager. Like, I'll straight up say I could care less, honestly. I'm not here to please anyone. Like, I don't care. So I was thinking about, I saw like a article about Vladimir Putin and how he was like threatening nuclear war. And I was asking the spirits and the divine, I'm like, okay, we have this, what's happening with this? We have this non-evolved creature out there that he's such a little man inside. He has to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and that and hurt the world. And because, you know, anyone who is actually masculine, alpha male, divine masculine is going to help out the world, not try to create more war and suffering. So he must feel really bad and terrible within himself to do these things. And I asked the divine about this. The divine said, oh, you know, Sarah, first of all, you can do a video and clip it, you know, so that it goes everywhere talking about this and reminding these leaders that they should heal, because otherwise they will have an eternity in the abyss if they don't do so. They're just going to be floating all alone, and that's not going to be fun if they do evil to the world. So there's very, very, very intense consequences that the divine will push upon these men who do this, and those consequences will be very dire, that's for sure. So it was like, then God was like, okay, tell everyone to channel rainbow light into the center of the earth. We got to bring the whole frequency of the ship up. Light ship up, light ship up. So here I am, I'm like driving, I'm like, rainbow light into the center of the earth, rainbow light into the sky. And then they're like, listen, you guys have power over your leaders. And I'm like, okay, show me. And they're like, send rainbow light to them. And that'll bring them out of the lower frequency and the higher frequencies. They'll wake up, they'll be like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm being evil. I shouldn't be evil. This is horrible. So that was some of the solutions that I was told. So it was like, okay, they are the ones who don't have power. You guys are the ones who have power. Gather in multitudes, channel light to them, channel light into the middle of the earth. So it was like they were given commands. They're like, it's this and this and this and this was needed. So yes, channeling light into Trump. And I'm not a fan of Trump. I don't like Trump. I don't like our elite leaders. I've said, I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Republicans. I don't like Vladimir Putin. I don't like elite leaders whatsoever. I do not support elite leaders. I don't believe that people who are gifted, the real true people who are gifted, that are super awakened, are going to support elite leaders. I don't believe that. I believe they're going to see past the illusion and say, oh my goodness, we actually need a new sort of, I wouldn't even say government. We had priestesses in ancient times. We need a new structure here. That's what we need. And that structure is going to be based upon the well-being of the planet, the well-being of people across the planet, the well-being of everything, on acknowledging energy, on acknowledging the spiritual, like we did in Atlantis, like we did in ancient civilizations. That is what we need. And that's going to grow out of the awakened community with the real true people who are awakened, not with the false light, love and light, like fake new ager people. That's not going to happen because they don't have healthy boundaries, and we need healthy boundaries because Archangel Michael has a sword. Remember that. So if you are not a nice person, Archangel Michael has a sword. Just, I remind people of that. And so yeah, there needs to be consequences, like I said. And so what that does is that pushes people to actually act better and act right. Okay, so I need to do more rainbow light ever since I heard you say this in my mind. Yes, thank you. Yes, I was told. So one time I was in Cabo at this resort and I woke up. It's the same resort like that's in this movie, and it's awesome. It's got like an infinity pool. And I walked to the end of the infinity pool in the morning, and the spirits were like holding my hands on the beach, and they said, channel rainbow light into the ocean. She needs it to heal. Channel rainbow light. The earth is messed up and chaotic because there's a lack of light, and light is love, by the way, and also the divine. So yes, that's what I was told. What are your thoughts on the end game of this world? Alien disclosure, or is this the Bible playing out? UK leaders forcing digital IV, governments openly talking about aliens in the courts. It's a very good block of questions I'm about to answer. Okay, let's see. The end game. So this is the end game. You see Mars, it also had an end game. Each planet had an end game. This is the timeline I was shown that everyone chooses healing and chooses to elevate the planet. There is a very deep spiritual war going on out there astrally. I've been cleansing and clearing everything and doing my dues to help out the planet as much as possible. And of course, the divine gives me that power. There's the native prophecy about the split, that humanity can go ahead and choose, by the way, rainbow light, rainbow. Have you guys heard of the rainbow prophecy? And there's that split of where humanity can choose the rainbow light and choose to fill themselves with which is the light of God, and fill the earth and ascend the earth, or they can choose war and destruction. And I believe we're at that split right now. I can't say that I've seen anything predicted, just the divine keeps saying, do your work every day, because in this vessel, we can bring in the higher energies, and then that spreads to the planet and spreads to everybody. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. That's what I was assigned. So I think there's a scale going on with that right now. It's being weighed. Okay. Alien disclosure. So I was shown also, there was a timeline where the governments of the world would come out and say aliens do exist, but then they'd say there are enemies and we need to protect you. So you need to get digital IDs and you need to get this and that. And actually the government's just using that against the ETs that are coming to help Earth. And in the Bible, it talks about this. It says that all the Earth's armies are gathered for war, and suddenly they look up and they see these chariots. I believe that's UFOs. And then they try to argue. Well, they try to war with God, and they lose. So there's a high possibility of that happening, because the ETs and host the realms are all waiting right now to help free humanity, but humanity needs to also start just getting rid of their leaders and stuff that are bad leaders. You guys need to start protesting. You need to start taking care of your communities. You guys need to start helping the elderly in your communities. I don't want to say what I do, but I help people rent, people who are homeless, their cars and stuff behind the scenes. And I don't like putting it out there, but you guys really need to start helping each other. Go into go pass out food, go do what you can, help out your communities. That's what you need to do, because the higher forces, they want to see that humanity's making an effort to be better, to evolve, to help each other out. So I believe that these leaders are also tests for you guys. Their tests is to see if you are going to choose racism, if you're going to choose to, suppress each other, to harm each other, or you're going to speak up against that evil. And I've said this many times, the same evil comes back, whether it was Hitler, it comes back and back and back, whether it was Nero, different dictators throughout history, to test whether or not you have evolved or not. So it's up to you to evolve to the point of saying, we will not put up with these leaders. We're going to take control in our communities. We're going to help feed and house our homeless. We're going to go ahead and clean our towns up. We're going to grow gardens. We're going to create these environments where everyone is working together for the betterment of the community. So that's what you need to do. And I feel that there needs to be that effort from humanity. And as that happens, the ETs are coming in to help humanity on a lot of levels, but the angels, I think a lot of people focus on aliens are coming to save us, which is a problem. Nobody's really coming to save you except the divine. And you have to actually prove yourself that you are going to be a being that is going to be something that does goodness for yourself and others. Imagine if you're a person each lifetime who's done terrible things. Why should you continue to have the chance to live in another life, in another body? No, people who do bad things lifetime after lifetime, a certain amount in lifetimes, they're recycled. Because all this solid matter was originally energy. So condensed energy creates solid matter. So you might not serve as a person walking around helping out. So maybe you'll serve better as a rock outside. So you get to choose other lifetimes as long as you are doing good things. There needs to be an effort from humanity to show these higher forces and the divine that humanity will step it up and that this earth is worth it, because the earth spirits are mad at humanity also. Then we have gates to the underworld open, that humanity allowed that to happen when they polluted their planet, when they harmed their children, when they harmed the women of their planet, when they chose to allow dictators and bad men to rule them, child exploiters. They said yes to the dark forces. Well, you want them to leave, the dark forces will leave, but you're going to have to start elevating yourself. You need to go ahead and help your communities out, and you need to stop accepting evil. So yeah, alien disclosure, I think it could be used against humanity. They could say, listen, you know what? We're the good guys. The government guys around the world, the elite leaders are not good. They're tied into dark forces. And they could say, yeah, you know what? Aliens are bad. So, hey, you need to listen to us and we're going to keep you safe from aliens. But no, those beings are being sent in to help free the planet. Even the Bible predicts them. It says the chariots of light will be in the sky, predicts them. It says the armies of earth will want to go against them. So when your leaders say go against them, you don't go against them. You completely ignore that because that will happen at some point. And that's why they're doing this soft disclosure, which actually got more intense of being like, yeah, there are aliens. They've known all along that there's other life forms. They've been lying all along to you guys because we walk around in bodies like we do. But the thing is they can't really see if they kill this body. I could go to another realm. They could even recently bind me in the underworld, which they tried to put me in the underworld and keep me there, but they couldn't. I could go in different bodies. So it's like, I'm going to go in another body if this body, so they can't. They know there's beings walking around like us. They're highly aware of it. Okay. UK leaders force in digital ID. Yeah, well, I mean, you have to realize that the division in the world, they're creating all this division and making you scared, and they want you to accept their totalitarian, however that word is, because some words I'm just not good at. Totalitarian. They want you to be their slaves. They want to know everything about you and control you because they're scared of you. They're scared of your divine power. They're scared of you on every single level because they know you have more power. And these guys, they want to control you because of that. And not only that, they want to control you because they don't want you to protest them. Yeah, they want to become dictatorships that tell you you can have a little bit of money, a little bit of food, and you work for us. That's what they're trying to do. They're dictators. So yeah, protesting against these things, refusing them, the best thing you can do. Government's openly talking about aliens in courts. I haven't heard about that one. I hear about a lot of stuff, but not that one. Yeah, they want world control. They want soul control. They want to, the dark forces are tied into elite leaders because elite leaders, of course, are so corrupt. They sold themselves out and they want to basically have everyone as an energetic slave to them. And this is going to sound really out there, but they want your soul energy. Could these negative entities make your leaders harm you by suppression and everything else? You bleed soul energy and these negative beings feed on that. That's what's happening right now. So they're actually doing soul harvesting. People talk about adrenochrome. Nobody talks about soul light harvesting. That's a big one. And that's why they target the children, because the children have a lot of soul light energy. Okay, I kept having visions of a big thing happening that will change the way people think and what they believe in 2026. 2026 keeps coming up for me. Okay, so the veil is being dropped right now. So you're seeing a lot of people who are acting out, acting evil, acting possessed. There's a lot of possession going on. Right now it's rampant in the New Age community. We don't need more cacao ceremonies. We need exorcisms. In the world, we need exorcisms. I believe exorcists in the future are going to be a big thing. We need exorcisms. There's a lot of people out that are murdering their children right now, that are murdering their partners, doing some really evil stuff. I've been watching this. I'm like, because CERN has opened the gates to the underworld, by the way. That's what they're using CERN for. And as CERN has continuously open gates to the underworld, then more and more. What's happened is a lot of these beings have escaped and they're infecting people and they're causing all sorts of terrible things. They're very dangerous to humanity. And so I think there's this movie or series called The Mist 2 that shows this, something similar. I'm not sure about 2026. I don't really live in time. We're shifting timelines constantly as the spiritual war goes on, by the way. Okay, so it's really interesting. So some ET races and some beings who were taken over a long time ago by the demiurge or this dark force. So I believe that when the government actually signed a treaty with the Roswell Treaty, I believe it actually was with beings that were compromised, dark beings. It wasn't with light beings. Light beings would never mutilate children or harm you whatsoever. And they're from the dark side, the dark forces. They're the dark forces if they're doing those sort of things. What do you think about the parable of wheat and the tares? Do you think that is happening right now as on a spiritual level? You have to send me that one. I know the rapture is happening. And it's that not the rapture like, oh, I'm going to disappear right now. But the rapture is the ascension. So those who are doing their sacred work are being ascended. They're going to go to a timeline where there's no war, there's no suffering, things like that. But those who have not done their work, they're going to stay in a lower timeline where there's war and total destruction of the planet. So we're ascending out of lower timelines where there's war and destruction to higher timelines by elevating our frequency. That's what I was told the rapture is. CERN caused the Mandela effect. I think there's a episode of Fringe where it shows like that there's different timelines merged in because they were doing kind of like, there's kind of like CERN's on there. It's the machine, by the way. Because, you know, it's really interesting about movies and shows. Like in the Bible, it says the devil reflects basically everything back to humanity and has to tell them. So yeah, so these shows are reflecting a lot of what's happening right now. So, or previously, or they predicted it. There's a lot of predictions in shows and TV series and like, yeah, movies. So I think Fringe has such great, like, kind of like knowledge about CERN. It's the machine. And yeah, so in there, when they light up that machine, I think it like merges different timelines. And I believe that's what's happening right here. Cause I had like this experience. Okay, so you guys, I never knew what Jeepers Creepers is, by the way. So when CERN was lit up like years ago when I lived in England, right? This was like before COVID. I literally wasn't even thinking about it. And here I get out of my body and I go do stuff, right? So I had this experience where I'm like, okay, go about my day. Cause I like live like this like goddess pretty girl life while I'm also like have these assignments. And suddenly I'm pulled out of my body and I was over CERN. I was floating. I was like, oh, in another dimension over CERN. So here I am over CERN and I see this like funnel in the sky tunnel. I fly through it and there was like another planet exactly like ours, but there was nobody on it. There was like New York City and everything. I was kind of like flying. And then I could sense, because I sense energies, I could sense this being, and it was literally like the Jeepers Creepers, and it was trying to come through the tunnel. And at that time I didn't know about Jeepers Creepers, right, whatsoever. So I remember I threw a force field, and then I went through the tunnel and threw a force field as the tunnel was closing. And what happened is like the being stayed in that other realm, and I came back to my body. And one day I'm like scrolling online, like, wait a minute, what's that being? And it said Jeepers Creepers. I looked up, I'm like, that's the exact same being. There was only one being in that other timeline world. And I realized like there are other timelines and realms where these dark beings are closed into and CERN's opening them up and allowing them to come out. So, and I know the guy who channeled Jeepers Creepers, he channeled a real negative entity, and I did some research on that. So I know a lot of these guys who channel horror movies, make horror movies, actually channel demons. Yeah, that's basically what's happening with horror movies. How do I protect my 4-year-old at this time when I'm at work? You can protect yourself by visualizing a golden bubble of light with mirrors facing outwards and put the center in rainbow light. Do that over your house, your apartment, your car, yourself, your children, your animals. Right now, it's very important that we protect ourselves and everyone as this spiritual war rages on. Yes, it's like karma that they don't want you to get hit with. They have to show us in our faces, or we accept it in a sense. You know, I think somebody asked me earlier about the Bible. So the Bible has tidbits of truth and a lot of lies too. So it's mixed in. When you're in a high frequency, you can see what's the truth. When you're in low frequency, you fall for anything. So when you're in low frequency, you'll believe everything. When you're high frequency, you're gonna see the truth. You know, I very rarely ever have fear whatsoever. Fear is very foreign to me. I think only when I went into the underworld recently, that was a fearful experience. And then I realized that the Bible says that if there are beings that, you know, down in the abyss, that men's hearts would fail. But hey, I survived it, which says a lot, right? If I did go into the underworld. I am used to dealing with other beings negative beings, good beings. That's like, this is my second realm. This is not my first realm. This is my second realm. The other realms are my first realms. As in, like, I travel those realms. So this is my second realm. So actually, when I was young, like, I was like so in the other realms constantly. And I was trying to get used to this. So I like it. Somebody says, in the film Beetlejuice, they now say Beetleguest instead of Beetlejuice. You know, I've never watched Beetlejuice. I stick to comedies and, well, romantic movies. I like romantic stuff. It's like my Venusian self. I literally, everything I have around me is like hearts or rose quartz or like pink, or it's Egyptian. Like today I have my like Egyptian, kind of little Egyptian get up here. But yeah, so I don't usually watch movies like that or things like that. I do like having like movie nights with my friends, and we watch like usually comedies. But hey, there is a movie I really like about time travel called Tenet. That one's really good. Do I have an opinion on the raw material? I haven't read that, so I don't have an opinion on it. I can't have an opinion on something I haven't read or I don't know about. Guys, I'm gonna do a couple more questions before I sign off. And I literally want to do more of these with you guys because I love it. I just, you know, I feel like I've been so just in my work and working out and doing yoga, dancing, things like that. So, yeah, so it's nice to get on here and just like interact with you guys. And of course, you know, I will start to get on here once a week and answer your questions and try to help out as much as I can, you know, give you guys health tips and just really get connected to you guys. I'm grateful for the support, for the love, and feel free to ask me anything, like anything, I'll answer it. Well, thanks guys. I'm gonna sign off, and I guess we got off topic and started talking about all these other questions. So Q&As are great. We'll be doing them more. Oh my God, you guys are all, yeah. I guess I'll stay on a couple more minutes. Okay. Yes, even in Area 51, a whistleblower said need to sign a form saying you can't say, oh God, even if you stump your toe down there. Says it riles up whatever they have done there. You know, actually, I have encountered Jesus Christ many times. Jesus Christ has helped me out a lot. I do believe in Jesus Christ. Jesus did help me out one time when I was battling this really negative being that was trying to pull me into the abyss, and Jesus came and grabbed my hand and helped me out. So Jesus does exist. And yes, Jesus one time appeared at the end of my bed when I was like younger. I think like that makes me sound old. I just am timeless because like, but I was like really like, God, I'm on this planet to help out them out, and they're not really nice a lot of times, and they're hard with their children. I was like so heartbroken over this. And then Jesus appeared with Buddha, and they said, it wasn't easy for us. It's not going to be easy for you. Why do you think it's going to be easy? Jesus like, they killed me, Sarah. Okay, it's not going to be easy for you. And I was like, thank you. So yeah, Jesus does exist. Yeah, those beings at Area 50, I have been to Area, so I have like a lot of abduction experiences. Okay, so when we come into the planet to help out the planet, the dark forces are aware of that. So I was abducted a lot as a child and brought to the Dulce Air Force Base, and also Area 51, by the way. So basically, yeah, it was a bad experience. I saw some really weird stuff. I saw like the lowest level, they were doing these genetic sort of like mutants that were, one was like a Mothman. Some had like different sorts of body parts of animals and creatures. So I've seen that. There were a lot of things that I saw that I really don't want to talk about. Why do you think I haven't talked about it all of this time? I was able to get full sovereign control of my system as I got a bit older, and completely was able to relieve release myself of those beings being able to affect me. But so the light beings would come in, the angels, the good ETs, they'd come in and try to take me back as a child until I was able to really get into my power. So there was kind of a battle back and forth with the beings that are falling and the light beings for me back and forth as a child. So light beings would go get me and bring me back. And so yeah, there was that tug of war as a child. I'll have to do a whole episode on my underground base experiences. It's not something that I really like talking about. And I think that people come out and like, yeah, I was in this underground base. I think they're really lying about that, because if you're somebody who's experienced that, even if you're another being, it's really, really horrible, the things you see, and you don't really want to talk about them. So yeah, I haven't talked about them. I will at some point probably do it. I've waited all these years to do it because of that reason. How do I get into 22D or call Archangel Michael again? I had a session ages ago with you and it was amazing. Thank you. Lily, thank you. Yeah, I am so happy because I've helped out so many people. Grace of the Divine and the angels. So 22D. What I like doing is visualizing golden light tunnel, visualizing flying up the golden light tunnel. That tells your system to elevate frequency-wise. And then what you can do is you can visualize a portal opening into the heavenly realms, and then you say silently, Archangel Michael, I want to connect to you. Clear your mind and wait for Archangel Michael to connect to you. Telepathically clear your mind again and ask him questions like you're talking to your friend. Clear your mind, wait for the answer. Once he answers, clear your mind again, ask him a question. That's how you learn telepathy to angels too. So I would give that a try. It works really well. That's how you connect to him. Have I been able to connect to Max Spirit since his passing? Oh, so you see, I know two beings, and they are like me. They are immortal beings, and they go in and out of bodies. So I'm sure that Max has another body. That's what I think. I can't say, much more about that though. You're welcome, Matt. Oh yeah, I channel Sekhmet and Hathor. I would say Sekhmet is like my spicy side. She like comes out, if somebody is not good, she comes out and she's like, I am not dealing with that. So yes. But then there's like Hathor and she's like, I love. But then Sekhmet comes out, and it's funny because Hathor, the goddess of love, is also Sekhmet. So it's like respect the divine feminine. Oh, thank you. Yes, I welcome more questions next time. What do I think of Ashana Dina? Am I pronouncing that right? I have terrible time pronouncing people's names. It's like, oh, Sarah. The mother man thing reminded me Mothman. Mothman. Okay, I think there was a misspelling there. The Mothman thing reminded me of what she says about different races of interdimensional beings. I don't know about her work. I've heard of her sending her blessings. Like I said, I can't talk about things I don't know. I won't do it. So yeah, you'd have to give me more information on that. Thank you. It's always great to connect. If you have parasites, how do we listen to our intuition clearly? You can't trust your intuition. You can't trust your own thoughts and stuff if you have parasites, because the parasites keep you in a lower frequency. The parasites actually give you negative thoughts, and I'm highly aware of this. So the best thing to do is to really cleanse those parasites, and then you can listen to your thoughts because they'll be clear. So anytime that you are toxic or you have parasites, the truth is not coming through you. Your higher self is not coming through to you. All of that gunk is coming through. So once you clear that, then you tune into your higher self completely clearly. I guess, guys, I have a couple more minutes. I have time for a couple more questions. By the way, I just wanted to say, guys, if you have been around somebody who has had the vaccine, or you've had the vaccine because you were forced to because of a job or whatever, go look up the New Earth formula. And this is the Spike Turbo XS, and this clears spike proteins and detoxes vaccinations. And this is my friend Sasha Stone's product, by the way, and it's amazing. I actually did the other bottle of it. And yeah, you can go ahead and get the link on my website. I have it up there at sararadams.com. So that's Clear Spike Proteins. Right now, I've been helping so many people just detox vaccinations because they were forced to get them for their jobs, you know, to keep their jobs so that they could support themselves and their families. So, and I am saying any spiritual teacher who says you're evil for taking the vaccine or you're going to hell or you're complete, that's all ridiculous. We are more powerful than a vaccine. We affect our DNA. We have power over our DNA. Don't fall. Those sort of teachers are just teaching you fair and trying to keep you connected to the dark forces. You can detox anything. You have power over your body. You have power over your DNA. You have power over all of that, and it will be okay. Just take some steps to detox, Claire, and you'll be fine. Bach flower white chestnut helps with unwanted thoughts. I have the whole Bach flower kit, by the way. I think they give me $600 or $700 for it. Honestly, Bach flowers are great. Love them. They're kind of like a bandage though. They're not going to heal the cause. The cause is the parasites, heavy metals. Once you heal the cause, you don't really need the Bach flowers. But yeah, they're great. I like the unconditional love one. You give that to your pets, your children, take it. But that's my favorite one. But yeah, they're good. But again, we want to heal the wound completely. It's like we got to go deep for that. And that's the parasites and all of that, which is causing the emotional wound, it's causing the spiritual wound. And once we clear all of that, cleanse all that, heal that, we don't need those things. It's like cacao ceremonies. I love them. I love cacao. But they don't heal you. Like, they're not going to remove parasites. Breathwork, not going to remove parasites at all, whatsoever. Cold plunges, not going to remove parasites. I love saunas, not going to remove parasites. You need to heal your gut system. As above, so below. What's going on down here goes on up here, whether it's your third eye, whether it's your brain, your mental health, your thoughts. Yes, when this is clear completely. Thank you. You know what? I've left my hair so wild. Like, have you guys noticed it was just like curly? And I was like, today I just like, yeah, I styled it. Like, I'm gonna style it. I've just been a wild girl for a while. And then I got like, a whole bunch of people were like taking my pictures and being mean about it. But like, I don't care. I'm like, yay. You know what? Like, my hair's so healthy from leaving it wild and it just was so happy. So now it's, yeah. But you know what's really good for your hair? I can't have any caffeine because I heal so much. Like, no green tea, no matcha. So I drink some decaf coffee because I like the taste of coffee, but I put MCT oil and collagen in there every morning. And oh my God, like, it really helps your hair. It really, really helps your hair. And then I also put, I'll also put like cinnamon oil, and that really helps your hair. Bone broth helps your hair. We're going back to the topic of natural beauty now. So yeah, those things help your hair, but thank you. And this is with no filter. This is what I'm saying, guys. We can achieve beautiful skin. And I bought a whole bunch of organic skincare. I'm not using it. I need to start using it. I've just been so busy traveling, helping my friends with their projects, and then working with clients. But you don't need like even organic skincare to get skin like this that's poreless. You just simply need to have a healthy diet, do a detox, and heal your gut system. That's what you need to do. How long should you take the spike protein supplement for? I think till the bottle like basically finishes up. And there's like, you're supposed to take one a day, and it's 90 capsules. So that's 90 days. My child's nursery has recommended a flu vaccine. I'm not happy with it. Do you agree? No, don't give any vaccinations to your child whatsoever as much as possible. You can go ahead and, feed your child a healthy diet. Raw milk, lots of vegetables, fruits. I would do, if you're going to do carbs, healthy carbs like rice, no sweets unless it's like honey or maple syrup. And that you should monitor that to not give them too much. Don't give your child vaccinations. Also, some children will need a heavy metal detox or parasite. If your child has dark around their eyes, they're gonna need that. I know a lot of parents who've come to me, they're like, oh, my child has dark circles. If your child is angry, if your child throws temper tantrums, if your child is irritated, they're gonna have parasites and heavy metals. And yes, you can actually pass them on from in your body to your children as a woman, but also the father can through, it's passed down. Everything's passed down because you have to realize this stuff also gets into like the fluids and stuff. So yeah, it will be passed down into children. I know some parents who have healed their children of autism, who have healed their children of behavioral issues, all sorts of issues just by detoxing them. So yeah, don't vaccinate your child. Please don't. Vaccinations for me, like imagine this little sweet baby, and the first thing this sweet child that comes out of the womb gets is poked by this needle and given pain. That baby should not be, that's trauma. That baby should not be given that pain. It should be given love and nurturing. And I believe a lot of the things that are happening to children, like circumcision, vaccinations, things like that, even these baby formulas that are empty energy and empty calories given to children, disconnect those little babies from love and from the divine, and it creates the unhealthy, unwell adults that we have in society today. Wallace Spirit on Instagram said we can get rid of parasites if we do some fasting, 3 to 7 days. We can also clean the body with fruit juice. He said we should only eat raw fruits. I will not agree with that one. I will not agree. I'm mostly carnivore based. I do lots of vegetables, well-cooked vegetables. I am literally 40 years old, and I walk around and people are really shocked at that. So I was a vegan for 7 years, and I was the sickest and most unwell that I have ever been. I was what you would call a posh, healthy, well, what should have been healthy vegan. I was getting B12 shots and stuff. Not good. Fasting stresses your body. You want to do soft detox, and that means sometimes 3, 6, 9 months you'll detox. Every day you eat a specific diet. You have a lot of fats, bone broth. You have lots of well-cooked vegetables, but you also take your detox stuff with it, do colonics, enemas. That's when you're going to really heal, and the body relaxes because the gut system will start producing more serotonin. When the gut system is compromised, it cannot produce serotonin, right? So you're going to be depressed, sad, unwell. So a lot of depression, a lot of mental health issues come from the lack of serotonin, because when you have a leaky gut, it's not creating the serotonin that travels to your brain to make you happy. So as your gut heals, the body will happily release the toxins and parasites. And I think soft detoxing is the best way to go, because what happens is the body is relaxing while it's releasing. When you fast, it stresses your body. I don't suggest fasting. I don't suggest things that stress your body out. As intense as that sounds, I believe that intense breath work is actually bad for you. If your system's already really tired and you're forcing it. If you're doing cold plunges and your system's really toxic and tired and you're forcing it. If you're fasting, no, the body needs love. It doesn't need to be forced to do anything. So as you give it the nutrients it needs, and you give it the herbs it needs, you give it the diet it needs, it's going to happily heal, and it's going to happily release the toxins, and you're just going to feel blissful. You're going to look better on every level. That's been my experience. On fruit juices, I think it works for some people, but very few people. I've seen a lot of people do fruit fast and it doesn't help them. Now, I know people who are on the fruit diet. It's not, in my opinion, something it's not beneficial for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people for years now, tell me they still have health issues, but they're still eating a whole bunch of fruits. And yeah, I haven't had a lot of people come to me and say, I have an all fruit diet, or I do a lot of things like fruit juices and look very healthy. Yeah, you healing the gut is healing the foundation. Once you heal the foundation, other things in your system will heal. I do recommend that people get out of cities, that you go and you build small communities and you build gardens, and yeah, things like that. Do community farms. I really recommend moving to small towns also, and yeah, getting out of the big cities right now. There's a lot of bad karma in big cities, dense energies, to negative entities. Yes, if you heal your gut, you will become more healthy. Wow, he's had vaccine injections all of his whole 3.5 years. I would recommend definitely, you can give him things like Shilajit. I have Shilajit powder. raw milk, raw kefir, raw cream. Like I said, healthy diet, and his system is really young, so he'll start to clear those things out, and he'll grow up to be very vibrant. I imagine the doctors were very angry with your choice, but that's okay, because the doctors, you know, I think doctors are good to a certain point, but there's a lot of things they're not good at. I do believe we would save a lot more people. We'd have a lot happier society if we incorporated herbs and energy work into the system. How do I recommend dealing with all the violence in the world on a personal level and at a collective? Channeling light blue light into that energy. I say come here to that energy, and I channel light blue light. That helps transmute it. We need more people doing that. The world has too much red energy, which is heat, which is yang, which is fire, which is violence. So we need to channel light blue energy, which counteracts that red energy. So that's what I do. And then I just visualize like a portal going into the heavenly realms, and the divine light pouring into that violence, into that evil, and transmuting it. Any recommendation for nurse and mothers for detoxing? Yes, the diet. Bone broth, shilajit. Shilajit comes in and it literally tells your system to dump all of the toxins out. Bone broth, lots of fatty meats. The fat comes in. So toxins are held in the fat, by the way. And so when you eat healthy fats, it comes in, and the bad fats full of toxins are released. So that helps detox you alone. There is one, there's these products. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just grab them. These are safe. And that's just the psyllium husk powder and the healing clay right here. This is bentonite clay. And I get these from Sprouts and there's different places like Amazon. You can get them from Sprouts, Natural Grocers. I don't think Whole Foods carries them anymore. That's a conspiracy, right? But you mix 1 teaspoon of this with 1 teaspoon of this, and you drink it morning and evening. That will start to detox you. And it's great, and it's safe to do while you're nursing. Carnivore diet, you said, got me. It's cured your acid reflux 100%. Yes, exactly. There's you know, if you look at carnivore people, they are very healthy looking. Most of them are super healthy looking. I'm just saying. Your family took the vaccine as well as your sister. Okay, the Sasha Stones product here, from the New Earth Pharmacy. That's on sarahdams.com. The turbo protein, spike protein, this clears that. If you want to try it, go ahead and give it a try, but this clears that. It's amazing for that. You know, if you've had any vaccinations, you're going to have heavy metals, you're going to have mercury, you're going to have different stuff. So it's better to detox. Everyone needs to detox. Like, I look at society and like mental health issues, aggression, anger. You know, even your haters are really toxic, by the way. People are unkind, you know, people abuse their children, people abuse their partners. They all have toxins. We have a pandemic literally of heavy metals and parasites in these people. If we took care of that, the world would be a different place. I don't know what you're saying about Libra. Somebody said Libra. I'm not a Libra. I'm a Taurus. Cancer rising, Cancer moon, and then I have my Venus in Aries, and then I also have a house about somebody I'm supposed to become very famous. Maybe I'll become very famous for telling world leaders to be better. I don't know. I don't care too much, but my aunt the other day, she's like, this is in your whatever house. And that's you being in the public eye. I'm like, really? Because I haven't really liked it so much for a while. Then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to embrace it. And maybe just, do random videos like this and give some health tips and talk about my experiences. And people can either like it or dislike it, whatever. Oh, thank you. You said, oh, by the way, I did a detox program with Sarah. She's amazing. Thank you. I literally have thousands of testimonials. Thank you. I highly recommend Sarah. She is monitoring all throughout and she helps on all levels. Yes, thank you. Ooh, Leos. I love Leos. One of my best friends who's like my family, he's a Leo. And it's funny because Leos and Tauruses were so truthful, but we also just don't put up with crap whatsoever. So we're like, this is the truth together. It's really funny. But yeah. I tried Shilajit. It gave me lots of energy. Yeah, it does. Because you know what? It really just helps heal your cells and stuff. Amazing. You can find it for like $15 online. I ordered it from India and it takes like a month to get here, but it's worth it. In Gnostic teachings, that line from Matthew, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, translated from Greek means a call to go inward, even into the astral realm, to do healing and spiritual work there. And when we shift things in that higher space, it ripples down and transforms life here on earth. You have got the answer. That's the answer. That's why this morning I spent 2 hours within here. That's the answer. So it's interesting to hear how you speak about going into the astral. This is true. And I was told once the astral realms are cleared, then that's going to clear the realm of earth. And in ancient times, like when you see these ancient temples in Egypt, their priests and priestesses weren't going around and doing cacao ceremonies or breath work or anything like that. You know what they were doing? They were protecting the masses, protecting the world from demonic entities. They would go, it wasn't a fun job whatsoever. They would go into the other realms, whether it was Isis or these beings, which were also real priests and priestesses, and they would go and protect humanity from negative entities. That's what they would do. You know, it's not a fun job. It was a really, really intense job for them. And that's why people would bring them gifts and stuff so that they could relax and regenerate and continuously protect humanity from negative entities, continuously kept the vibration of the planet up. That's what we need. To the ancient ways of the priests and priestesses, clearing out negative entities, bringing light into the land. You know, that's what we need. Shilajit contains a lot of minerals and that's so true. Antioxidants. It's amazing. Somebody said, I wish I could find friends like you. Completely agree with every comeback you have, and it's not just because you're pretty. Thank you. I must say, like, I have this whole thing on like pretty privilege. I can literally, I get so much from that, and I'm like so blessed about it. But it's just really, I try to use it. I'm like, well, people are going to watch me so because I'm pretty, but then I'm going to say all these things which are going to make them think. That's how I do it. Was it like the movie Doctor Strange Metaverse? I think it was more like, it's more like Inception. That's what it is. I have a lot of shungite, great to soak in water and great minerals. Yeah, and put it under your bed because I like putting specific, so be very careful because the earth is mad that we're taking crystals and gold from her because she's like, this is like my veins. So I don't really purchase crystals anymore. Once in a great while, I get a little crystal or a specific crystal and then I just sleep with it. Like I sleep with a rose quartz crystal all the time. And yeah, so put it under your bed too, or like sleep with, I have like crystal orb I usually sleep with. That very much helps out. Shungite is great for clearing energy, so put it under your bed too. Try that. Definitely in a true world, people like you would be leading us on a higher and different level, but hey, you're still leading and spreading love and knowledge on a level we all need to know. Thank you. It's been a journey. It's been a battle. It's been a lot to get here, and thank you. I agree with that, and I am helping set up right now a circle of people who I believe will do that in the future. They're going to be help with the new earth. They're going to be, doing a lot for the new earth. It's about we rather than I, me. There's a lot of I, me in the world, like me, I. It's about we. That's what's the most important thing. Somebody said hello all. Well, guys, again, I have to sign off this time for reals. Thank you for joining me. I will definitely be back later this week and continue to answer questions, talk about my different experiences, and just interact with you guys. You guys have a blessed day.